Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Emma's vlog. And we had, I would say a decent week. I would say it's an average week. As you guys know, we've cut her training volume back just a little bit to deal with some recovery stuff. And yet she got on this lift, bench press with 30 pounds of bands with a good pause. She got a 1 pound PR. She put a little microplate on there just to ensure it was a PR. Perfectly reasonable. I'm happy with it. Everything's good. Then we, of course, do pause bench. We do pause benching. And what I'm doing with some of this, you guys will notice it's closed grip. I feel like at this point her triceps now need quite a bit more work. Triceps seem to be her limit on her bench press if we have to gauge stuff, because these things shift a little bit. And so we're now doing closed grip bench on this day, right? And we're adding a lot of band press downs. I want to work on building up her elbow tendons, something you guys see me do with a lot of people, so that we can eventually add some heavier tricep work as needed once she's in a phase where she can recover a little better, not just trying to maintain some and make any progress she can. And that's something that came up in the comments. We laughed about that. Some people are like, oh, people make excuses. I'm like, this is someone I've been coaching for years. Okay, we're always going to have periods of time where people get a little busy, their sleep, their recovery is slightly compromised, and we do maintain for just a little while. I normally tell people we don't want to do that. We always want to be bulking or cutting, making progress in some area. That's what's optimal. Okay, in some of these cases, a lifter has other stuff going on in their life, and I laughed because it's just silly for people to not understand that. And other coaches chime in. They're like, yeah, these people clearly don't know anything about lifting. But what we did there, I would have liked to have seen more weight there. She said she knew she could have done 5, 10 more pounds. That's the first time I've had her do that lift. So technically it's a PR. But, she squats well up into the 200s. She's past 225. So 30 pounds of bands with a 190 squat, I'd like to see a little more. But keeping in mind, she's using the same band setup she does for benching, and those bands are probably pretty tight as we go higher up. So it could actually be more than 30 pounds of band tension once it gets really stretched, in which case, it makes sense. But still, would we say it's above 90%? Yeah, it's at least 90%. So it's a good training max. So we're okay with that, right? We don't mind when that happens. Don't mind when that happens. But as you guys noticed, of course, her upper body day, we do closed grip bench. Now we're doing chin-ups, and then we do band press downs, right? Lots of band press downs. Her upper day, or her lower day, all right, we do our max effort lift. We're doing some safety bar squats. We do reverse hypers. We do hanging leg raises. And I know people are looking at that going, that's just so much less volume than we've seen her do in the past. And you're right, it is. And once she's through the phase and her recovery is back on point, sleep, stress management is back where we want it, we will take those training volumes and workloads back up. Okay? We'll take them back up. But we're dealing with time, we're dealing with sleep, we're dealing with recovery. So I'm keeping the workout short. Notice we're doing, instead of a split squat, even a back squat, because we can get more work done in a shorter time. All right, speed bench, we follow our normal routine. Of course, we're not just close gripping here. We do wide, medium, close against bands. All right, against bands. This is our standard protocol for her. And we run it year round. We don't deviate from that. We don't really need to. Maybe if she had more specialty bars, we could. Or if she had chains, we could rotate it. But I'm happy with it, and it works. Especially because we do the grip rotation. I feel like we can get away with less variation on some of the speed benching like that. All right, particularly because we rotate her max work. We can rotate bars, dumbbells, everything for supplemental work. And that's exactly what we do here. On speed bench day, she does dumbbell presses instead of the other closed grip. And now we're back over to chins. Remember, she was doing wide grip pull-ups for a while. Then we've done some neutral grip. Now we're back to chins. Mainly because she's like, I need more bicep. Can I do chins again, coach, please? I'm like, okay. I don't like my middle-aged and older lifters to do a lot of chins. You guys will notice that. We don't do supine work for the most part. Younger people, she's in her 20s. Yeah, I'll let them do it. I'll let them even curl if they want to with a supine grip. All right, then we do upright rows. So again, we're making sure we work the upper back and rear delts. That's one of the things that comes up with Emma's training. People say she does nothing but chin-ups, pull-ups. We haven't seen any real rows for a long time, but we've got the upright rows. And that bridges the gap, right, of the upper back and everything. Bridges the gap. So we do those 2 lifts, then we do upright rows, then we do the band press downs. Now, the goal will be eventually to get her elbow tendons healthy enough that we can do extensions. We'll do skull crushers, we'll do JM presses, stuff like that, further down the road. All right, dynamic effort lower. We just use a safety bar. Like I said, if we had more bars, we'd rotate them. She just feels like with all the sets, it's better on her shoulders. She's like, I prefer if you don't make me do the straight bar for those. So we work with it. We get our variation on the deadlift. Keeping in mind, we've got bands. I can always adjust her band tension to make this stuff more aggressive if we need a different wave. But they've got band pegs, and she does sumo and conventional. So that gives us our lower body variation on the speed work. That gives us our variation. And as I've said before, I can always change the setup with more band tension. I can add more bands. Be like, I want you to run more bands for the speed work. Then we change the strength curve. We change the movement pattern if we're worried about acclimating. Which, again, we may need to do when she gets through this phase as we take volume back up. Then, of course, I'm having her do cambered bar good mornings. So, again, most of the real quad work's done on the max effort day. But the speed work does work quads. And then I put more posterior chain focus on this other. We obviously get that from everything. And then, of course, the reverse hypers every workout, right? Because they're in there every workout. We get the posterior chain no matter what. But we put more focus on it with the good mornings on this day because we have limited recovery right now, limited time. So it's a little bit more of a split. And then we finish up with the reverse hypers. And you guys know how I feel about these. I have so many clients who own a reverse hyper. I like them doing the reverse hypers. We use them. They're great. They're great. A big fan. Of course, next block, I think we're going to work some of these GHRs in on that device. I'm going to have her try to do those. All right, work on those hamstrings. And it's an easy to recover from exercise, which really, really works well for our goals. Right, works super well for our goals. So we'll incorporate that, I think, coming up in the near future. Again, very easy for us to work in. And so this is where we finish up. But overall, I mean, we got a PR on the bench in spite of everything going on. Happy with that. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.